Hey guys, it's Aaron back with another review for you, and today I'm back with Dahmer episode 3, so I've got my notes, let's dive right in. So, in this one we find a little more about Dahmer's kind of upbringing and the way his parents were and different things like that. Actually, we start off it's the middle of the night, and the mom, I'm sorry, is she's found in the snow in the middle of the night, like barefoot, completely underdressed. And the dad takes her to the OBGYN to see, if what's going on, and he says that he thinks that she's on too much medication, and the doctor's like, maybe, and she, of course, is like, no, it's not that, and she gets all defensive with it. But anyway, so we fast forward and we see Lionel taking Jeffrey, probably, I want to say he's a teenager, I'm assuming, and he takes him fishing, and they go to, we find out that Lionel is wanting to, because of, give him the talk, and it's like, I was just kind of like, oh, that's an interesting place to have the talk, but, to each their own. He's, like talking, he's like, well, you've seen any ladies, that kind of thing. And it's about as awkward as it always is in those kind of situations. And his dad, if I remember correctly, gives him some Playboys. And so we see Jeff trying to masturbate to them, and he can't. It's just not working. And then he kind of puts it away and just kind of starts thinking in his mind, and then he does get excited by something, and that is fish guts from when they were fishing earlier, and he just getting these images of him like squeezing them, and and that gets him excited, and he's able to finish. So it's just kind of, anyway. So the next day we see him at school, and they are dissecting fetal pigs, and in class, and one of the girls that's actually Jeff's partner is, like, oh, like, God, so disgusting. And they kind of, a couple of the jock guys, they make fun of her, and then Jeffrey notices this, and he's like, oh, okay, this is kind of my end to go in, and they're all making fun of her, and it's like, misogyny, look at her, she's a woman, what? But, so, yeah, it's, misogyny's awesome. Anyway, so then later we see, after school, Jeffrey shows up, and he comes to find that his mom and brother are packing the car up, and he's like, what's going on? And his mom's like, I'm leaving your father, I'm filing for divorce. And he's like, but okay, and he's upset clearly, but it's like, okay, fine, but I have to go get my stuff and everything. And she just gives him this look, and she's like, I'm not taking you, I meant your brother and I. And it's so, I mean, you see that they don't have the greatest relationship leading up to this, but it was just so sad that, he, even with that being said, was just kind of had that hopeful, okay, this sucks, but my mom's taking my brother and I, and then she just completely shoots him down. It's just so upsetting, and you really feel for him. And, and it's kind of that, we're seeing more of the upbringing that he was in, and we kind of see, where he is in standing with his mom, and it's not a good standing at all. So his mom just up and leaves him there by himself, and we find out that he's like, all right, fine, I'll just go get drunk. And that's what he does. He just drinks the beer in the house, and we see him having talks with imaginary people, as if he's kind of popular or something. It's kind of interesting. And but he just, like I said, he just goes and drinks, and that's what he does. And so he's the man of the house, and he's doing his thing. Well, so as he's, going back throughout his day, he keeps seeing this jogger on the side of the road, and he's clearly attracted to him, and he's just, and it's almost more like an intriguing thing too. He just kind of, when he gets excited when he sees him, and then he passes him, and he looks at him in the rear view, and they do make eye contact. So I mean, there's a mutual, like, okay, I see you seeing me, and so he so that's a thing that keeps happening over the next couple of days. And finally, this one day he's driving, and he actually almost hits the jogger, and it's like, oh crap, man, whatever. And he gets him in the car, and Jeffrey convinces him to take him back home to drink with him. And he's like, yeah, dude, because he was on this way to a concert, and it's anyway. So yeah, he takes him home, and he's like, yeah, I need a lift to the show anyway. And he's like, yeah, dude, how about you come to my house? We'll have a couple beers, and we'll do that. We'll go to the show. And he's left. Who's going to turn that down? You're getting a ride to a concert for free, and you're going to get to go drink. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to go pregame with them. And this was, back in the day, people didn't know stranger danger stuff. So, Jeffrey Dahmer really wasn't a thing yet. So we didn't know about these people really. And so then they're going and they're drinking, and the hitchhiker is, after a while we see he's like, man, we need to, get on the road to the show and everything. And he's like, and Jeffrey Dahmer, he's like, no, man, we're cool and everything. And he's finally like, dude, we gotta go, like, for real. And he's like, all right, fine, we'll have one more beer and we'll go, I'll take you. And so they chug a beer and everything, and then Dahmer makes a move on him. And he's, of course, like, well, what the hell? He kisses him, and he's like, what the hell? And he was like, it's cool, man, I was just messing around. And we see that obviously he's just not reciprocal. And so at that point, the hitchhiker is, okay, I'm gonna go, man, since you're not, because he keeps going, are you taking me to this concert or whatever? And Dahmer just keeps like, whatever. And he's like, no, man, we'll just blah blah blah. And after this incident, he's like, screw this, I'm out of here. He's like, you're not even taking me to the show. I want to see, peace. And he is of course upset, and he's trying to get him to stay and all that. And he finally just gets mad, and he hits him. And just, he's done. Kills him in anger. And that's the first kill that we actually see chronologically. So that's actually the first murder. And then he freaks out after he sees what he's done, and he starts hitting himself, and he, tries CP. He goes nuts. And so he starts doing what Jeffrey Dahmer does. He cuts him up, and he's driving, and he puts him in the trunk of the car, or in the back seat, I'm sorry, and these garbage bags. And the cop pulls him over, and he's, like, what are these? And he's like, oh, they're lawn clippings. And it works, that's the crazy part. They're pretty freaking big lawn clippings, if you ask me. But anyway, then we see him go back to his house and start. We see that he has gotten them down to bone form, presumably by burning them, and the body. And we see him, he just starts breaking up the bones and everything, and they're black, the bones are. So presumably that's what happens. So he crushes them up to dust, and he throws them over the water. And that is the end of the episode of Dahmer, episode 3. And it's still as great as it has been from the beginning. It's still, it's just awesome. And it's, and this one is a lot more interesting. We get more into his psyche and kind of, maybe not why he did what he did, but definitely more of his upbringing and maybe things that were factors into how he was raised. And so, yeah, that's, like I said, that's where we are with it. And good episode. Still a good series for those of you that are watching it or have seen it already. I'm assuming you were still following up with it, but let me know what you think. And Shani, I hope you're still keeping up with it so you can follow these. But yeah, good stuff. And I will be back with another review soon. And at some point, I'll be back with another Dahmer episode for you guys. And so like and subscribe, tell your friends, and I will talk to you then.